Hello, I'm ShyWizard and going to look a little further again into carrots. In my last video I showed you that I'd built my own mod from the Grimme Tectron 415. Wasn't sure if I was going to do this video, but I thought, you know what, let's do it. So what I want to do is actually go through the motions of how I put that mod together. Now Giants Editor and the Wisdom have actually given us the ability to create mods from the in-game equipment. Well, not all of it, certain things there are missing from there if it's a DLC and things like that. We don't have access to those as yet, but for the most part pretty much everything you're ever going to want is there. So with the Giants Editor version 7.1.0 we have this new mod from game section up here, and if we actually click that, this is how we can potentially make our own mods from all of the in-game stuff, including the maps. So we have our sample mod map 1, which is for Goldcrest Valley, sample mod map 2, Sosnovka, and you can then go through the list and there's absolutely loads and loads of stuff in here. It's pretty much everything you can find in the base game. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go through it, and it is sometimes difficult to find what you're looking for because it can be named a little different, or the name is shortened because it doesn't have enough space to fit it in. You know, they don't want to put Grimme Tectron 415 in here or whatever else. So, you know, I've gone up and down this list many times and shot straight past what I was actually looking for because it's not quite named the same, or they just put the actual the numbering of the, like, T9, unless you know what that was. What does that mean? What does that refer to? Is that T9 tractor, or I don't know. So sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating to find what you want here, but if you just scroll down very slowly until you find what you're looking for, you will get there eventually. Just might have to go up and down the list a few times until you actually find what you want, but generally speaking you can get there eventually. So I'm looking for Tectron 415 in the list, and we'll find it shortly, hopefully. So there's the Pterodos if you were thinking of that one, and there's the Tectron 415 just there. So if I click onto that and then click OK, it gives me this work directory, so I can then create my mod, but I don't want to put it in my documents. I want to put it on my desktop really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of that, and then I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to create a new folder here. And what I'll do is I'm going to call this, let's cut that. So I'm going to call this my FS17. We'll select that folder, and then what I want to do is actually do that like so, and then I'll click OK, and that should then put it on my desktop in my FS17 folders, mods Tectron 415. So I click OK, it creates the bits and pieces and gives me my mod. Fantastic. So as far as this goes, you don't really need to do anything in here to actually adjust it, at least not for carrots. If you wanted to change the color of it, I probably wouldn't do that in here either. Actually, I would probably do that in the actual textures, but you know, there's no, for what we're going to do here today, there's no reason to be in the editor for it because everything we need to adjust is in the XML. So we just click save and close that down and click save again. So we've updated everything, and then that should give us our folder. So it's actually created a new one there. That's fine. So I'll get rid of that one, and we have our folder with our Tectron in and all the rest of it. Fantastic. What I think I will do actually, no, that's fine, we'll leave it like that. That's okay, it doesn't matter. So what we need to do then is obviously make some changes in here to get this compatible with carrots. First thing I would say, if we actually go into our mod desk, you need to obviously bring in some parts in here, but we have a icon file name and it's called icon.png, and if I then go into my Grimme one here, we have store underscore Grimme Tectron 415 Grimme, however you pronounce that. So what we need to do is find that image because that isn't brought over for us. So if I go to my Farming Simulator 17 installation folder in my Steam folder here, you have in data this folder called store. So what we need to do here is basically find the Grimme in here, and I believe it's alpha. It's alphanumeric or whatever you call it. It's so you should be able to find it relatively easy. He says, there we go. Grimme Tectron 415. So I'm going to make a copy of that. Obviously don't move it from here because you'll mess everything up in there. And I'm going to paste it into here like so. Okay, so now that we've done that one, we obviously need an icon as well. So I tend to do this first because it's one of those things that I always forget. So if I get this out of the way right from the beginning, it's done and dusted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the name from there. I'm going to open this up in paint.net. And then what I want to do is actually resize this to 256 by 256, and we'll click OK. And this is for our icon. So what I want to go is File, Save As. And then I don't need to paste in because it's giving it to me in it already. That's fine. So I'm just going to change that to icon underscore Grimme Tectron 415. Click Save. We want DXT5 no bitmap. So we'll click OK. And we can close that down. We now have our store and our icon. This is the obviously for the store. This is the one that will be displayed in our mods list when we're loading up the map and all the rest of it. So obviously I want to now change that because that's not the same in our mod desk. So if I reopen the mod desk, this is just icon. So I'm going to click in there and obviously paste that in. Put your name in here, whatever that may be, to say it's your mod and all the rest of it. And then we need to bring in some other parts here to make all this sort of work. So we need to create a title, and then we need to create a description. So to make things a little easier, I've opened up my version that I've already created that works and all the rest of it, just so I can copy stuff over and go through it. So we need to create our title and our description. So we can literally just take that. I'm going to copy the whole lot, but I'm going to go through it bit by bit if I can. So I'm going to take the title here that I've put in and the data here. I mean, the description, you can put whatever you want in there, really. I've just done it like that. So we'll take these parts here, copy that, and then we'll just put them in up here under our version, like so. Then we have our icon file name, which we've already done. If you want it to be on a multiplayer setup server or whatever, so we need to put that into there so it shows it will work with multiplayer. And we'll make a few lines, and then what we need to do is actually bring in our extra source files with our add store category lure, because that's going to give us our ability to create a new category for the carrot harvesting. So we'll need to bring that script in as well. So you'll need to locate that. I can't provide that to you. You need to find a mod that's got that in and then take it from there. There's loads and loads of mods out there with this in it, so you know, should be too difficult to find. Then we have our vehicle types, and obviously this I've set up myself, creating the self-propelled carrot harvester. So what I'll do is I'm going to just take these and copy them over, and I'm going to show you where I got all the specializations from. So if we come back over now, create a new line, and I'll just paste them in like so. So we've got our vehicle types and the type name, and this is the type name we're going to be putting into our XML. So I'm going to be changing that. If I actually bring up the XML as well, I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we go into our newly created one here, we've got our Tectron 415, but that says self-propelled potato harvest. Obviously we don't want that. I want it to be a carrot harvester. So this particular name here is what will go in the top of the actual Grimme Tectron 415 XML, overwriting that one there. The self-propelled potato harvester now becomes a self-propelled carrot harvester. Fantastic. So then we can basically go in and take our L10N section, which is the text that we actually see in game in either the store or wherever else. So just going to again copy those, and I'll try and explain all that sort of stuff. So we can come back into here again and we'll paste that in. So basically what we've got here is we've got a function in our Grimme Tectron 415 XML, we've got a function here, and that is the L10N, which is what this refers to, function harvesting self-propelled potato, but we obviously don't want that. What I want is carrot. So what I do is I actually create this here, this function for my harvesting self-propelled carrot, but because the game engine doesn't recognize that, the standard setup doesn't recognize that, the script won't recognize it for the standard vehicles lure, this script up here won't recognize that, so I have to tell it what it is. I have to explain it to that script what this actually is. So by putting that function in there, it then gives it its information so it can be displayed correctly, and it will match in with the scripting and everything else. So I need to obviously have that there, but I also have to have this in my XML as well, so that they both match up. So I put that one in there as well, like so. And then obviously if we go through, I don't want it in category potato harvesting, I want it in carrot harvesting, which is what this one then comes from. So we have our name here, carrot harvesting, so I can then put that one into here, overriding the potato harvesting, and we can do exactly the same for our field jobs. Now, as I said in my previous video, I have not got the actual jobs, the missions, to give me this particular Grimme 415 to harvest carrots. I'm not sure if that has something to do with size category. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have a bit of a play around with that, see if I can get that to work, because I would like the ability to have this particular harvester come up so I can use it for missions to harvest carrots and whatever else. But I'm going to look into that and see how that works, because I'm not entirely sure on that just yet. So we've created our name, we've changed our type up here, we've created our self-propelled carrot harvester, which we've linked into our name here for our vehicle type. We've created and changed our function, our L10N function, with the harvesting self-propelled carrot, and we've linked that in with our mod desk, or vice versa, whichever way you prefer to create, whichever one you prefer to create first. I think when I did this the first time around, I created the XML first and then worked backwards towards the mod desk XML. For me, that worked a little bit easier, but you know, you can do either or either, it doesn't matter. So we've set up our function, and then basically I'm just working through here and I'm changing the category itself, which is where the add category lure script comes in, because we need to add a new category to accept our carrot harvesting. And we've changed our type category here again for our field job, but like I already explained, I haven't managed to get that to work yet. So then what we need to do is obviously come down. All the rest of it you can leave exactly the same, don't need to worry about any of that. Now what you might want to do here is somewhere at the top of the actual XML, bring up your search window and type in here potato, oops, like so, and then we can do a search and it will make it easier to find where that is. You could also do a replace if you wanted to, so we could replace potato and replace with carrot. So, but the problem with that though is it will replace everything that's got potato in it, so you have to be a bit careful, because sometimes it will replace something that you don't want it to. So for me, I don't generally use that. I like to do it manually. I just search for potato and then just change it to carrot manually myself, like so, and then we can search to the next one. Again, you don't need to change those because it's just text, but you know, if you wanted to make it complete, you could do that, and then we can search for our next one, which I know is just below. So I can now copy that and then paste over this one, and these ones are now highlighted, so I can paste over that one, and that one, and also this one. And then we can do a search again, change that one, that one, that one, oops, that one, and that one, and we just do a search again, and we're under the document. So there's nothing more in there to do with potato. We've changed everything now to carrot. Just double check that we've got everything in here. So self-propelled carrot harvester. Our function is harvesting self-propelled carrot. We've got our carrot harvesting in our category and carrot harvesting in our type category for our missions. And we've changed everything there to carrot for our field types and all the rest of it. So fantastic. If you wanted to here, you could put in the field types like I've done in the other one. If I just show you that. I don't think it actually makes any difference, if I'm honest. I did actually put it in there, but when I tested it, it didn't seem to make any difference here. The field types one here, so you can put your capacity and your field types in into your specs. So come in here and then type that in as well. So capacity 20,000 and field types caret. That didn't seem to make any difference. I was hoping it would give me the little icon that showed it would take carets. Well, that's what it was set up for, but it didn't seem to make any difference. So again, you know, you can put that in or not. It's up to you. I put it in just for the sake of it, but it's not really necessary. It didn't, like I said, it didn't seem to make much difference either way. Okay, so we've now set up our XML in there, and we've set up our mod desk. So I'll close this one down, because this is the other one, I think. Might need to just open that up again, because I need to take the store items as well. So we've got our store items here. If we look at this one, store items, it's got just the actual root item and whatever else, and it's pointing to our XML that we've just created and played around with. So I need to take the new category section here. Again, this is for our add store category Lua. So I need to take those parts, copy that, come over, and then come into here. Now obviously you're not going to be able to copy this because you don't have access to this. You'll have to type it yourself, but you know, you can just pause the video and type it out as you see it here. I just really wanted to put this video together so you can actually see me putting it together and what I'm doing to create it. So we've now got all of that into there, and this image file name again points towards my store Grimme Tectron 415, which we created earlier on. We didn't create, we just copied it from the actual Giants folder, store folder. So that points to that as well, and that'll be the image that's displayed on the main page in store for our actual categories and whatever else. So we've now set that up as well, so we should be pretty good there. What I want to just show you, the vehicle type section, how you go about setting this sort of stuff up, and because you can look at this and go, well, how do I know what's meant to be in there? Now, remembering originally this was a self-propelled caret harvester. If I actually go back into my Steam setup here, and we'll go to Steam Apps, then go to Common, and then our Farming Simulator 17 folder should have a folder called SDK, and if you go into here, it has quite a lot of information. There's a modding handbook in here, which is now out of date actually, but you know, whatever. If you're working with Blender, you have a Blender exporter and bits and pieces. It tells you about collision masks and different categories and stuff like that. So you can come in here and have a look through. You have all your vehicle types are in here. This is what we're playing around with in here, our vehicle types. So basically what we need to do in here is just look through here and find our self-propelled potato harvester, and then we can take the actual specifications or specializations from that, because that's what it will need to work. So if you're messing around with a self-propelled sprayer or whatever else, you're modding one, and you've changed the actual type name because you want it to be called something different, like we're doing with the caret one here, that's fine, but then you'll need to take these specializations and put them in your mod desk for it to work, because it won't know what it is, and it will rely on the mod desk to tell the script, the vehicle Lua script, what it's actually meant to do. So if we continue on down through here, somewhere in amongst all this is our self-propelled potato harvester. It always has to be the one right at the bottom. There we go, self-propelled potato harvester, because that's what we're basically modifying to work with carets. So I've just come into here in our SDK folder in the Farming Simulator 17 installation setup. You can ignore the top line and the bottom line because we've already created that in our mod desk here, and we've obviously renamed it from self-propelled potato harvester to self-propelled caret harvester. But like I said, what we actually do need to copy over though is the specializations for it all to work properly. So you just literally take that from there, copy that, and then just put them into here. So these parts here won't exist, and this is where we're getting the information from to then obviously put into our mod desk. And that's pretty much it. So that's again in our SDK folder. So once we've actually set all of this up in here, and the rest and whatever else, and we've also done our Grimme XML. So if I bring them back up, bring that other one up again, just so you can see this one here. So we've now set both of these up, the mod desk and the Grimme Tectron 415 XML, and all the parts linked together, and we've set up our L10N sections to match our functions and all the rest of it in here, so it knows what it's actually called and what it's meant to do and all the rest of it. We can close all of these down because we no longer require any of those. I'll close that one down because that's my new folder, and then obviously what we need to do is go into our mod itself and bring in our script. So we bring in our script and that's pretty much it now. So the next thing really is to just rename the folder to whatever you want it to be called. So for me, I just basically renamed this to FS17. So FS17 underscore Tectron 415. If you wanted to, you could call it Grimme underscore Tectron 415. And then when you actually zip it up, so if we actually zip it up like so, I'm using WinRAR, but you can use whatever you want. We now have our mod, and what I'll do is I'll actually put that into the folder so you can actually see it in there, and we'll then put it into game and just start it up and run it, just so you can actually see that this version does work. And I'll take my other version out of the mod folder. So this is the one that I've already created, this one here, and this is our new one. Sorry, that's not right. This is our new one. Got too many folders, and this is the one I already created, this one here. So this one's called FS17 Tectron 415, and this is FS17 Grimme Tectron 415. So this is the one we've literally just created here, but exactly the same method as I used before. So if I go into my Farming Simulator 17 mods folder here, and what I'll do is I'll take out the Tectron 415 like so, that we know works because I did a video on it already, and we'll cut and paste this one in instead. So you can see it in the mod folder there, FS17 Grimme Tectron 415, and then what I'll do is I'll go into game and we'll just test it, and I'll show you that it does actually work. Okay, so I've just come to this page. I just want to show you this because it now says on here Grimme Tectron 415 and not Tectron 415, which is what we had before, which is why I purposefully named it slightly differently to the last version. So we can start the map up here on the sample mod map with our carrots, and we'll harvest some carrots hopefully. So we'll get into game here. Yeah, I'll scan the fields, but we'll do that. That's fine. So gonna go into store, and we have our carrot harvester. Again, like I said before in our previous video, exactly the same as the potato harvester, it just harvests carrots. So we have all our information here, same as what we did before, and I'll just get some money. That'll be fine. And it purchases fine, no problem. And we'll go over to the store, and there we go. So we have our new carrot harvester all built, created in a very short space of time. And I'll just check to see what is going on with these fields. Fantastic. So field 21 is already ready to go. So I'll just open this up. So I won't make this video massively long. I just wanted to add it in so you can see how I went about basically putting it all together and creating the actual mod itself, so you can do it yourself. You'll need to obviously, do a lot of pausing and whatever else, and this is what I said before, this thing just spins if you don't put it in four-wheel drive with the drive control mod in, which is really silly because it's a tracked vehicle. So but never mind. So I'll quickly buy the field here. So it won't give me, you think that because this is ready to harvest, it's removed tops. So actually this one's gone round to 100%, even though it actually shows here it's removed tops, but that's fine, whatever. So yeah, you'd think because it was ready to harvest and all the rest of it, it would allow me to use the Grimme Tectron 415 mod to actually harvest the field, but I just can't seem to get that to work at the moment. But again, that's something I will look into to see what I've not done right there to get that working, hopefully. Okay, so we're ready to go, so we'll just press B to start harvesting, and there we go. All harvesting like we did before with the other version I created. All the particles working and everything. And we're harvesting carrots. So don't really think there's much more I need to show you there. It works, you know. For me, this is really good. It's really straightforward. The first time I did it, it took me a little while to figure out the categories and all the rest of it. But I'm just copying and pasting parts from one I've already created, obviously. But yeah, in a very short space of time, following what I've shown you here in the video tutorial, hopefully you'll be able to put it together yourself in a very short space of time also, and you'll be able to get in, harvest your carrots, and it'll all harvest correctly. It'll harvest when it's meant to be harvested, remove tops, and you'll have your carrot home all working and whatever else. Like I said, really short video, but just wanted to put this in there so you can actually see it and join in the fun of harvesting carrots. I'm ShyWizard, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.